What's up, Planet Earth? This is Cheesecake Chinos, and I want to take you on a little journey right now. All these crazy flavors that I always come up with, I'm going to give you a glimpse of what I go through. Now, I know the other week I sent a picture, or I posted a picture, and it had the sink filled with like 10 spoons, and that wasn't even all. Really, I had 15 spoons. I always test out everything. Quality control is really important because ingredients constantly switch. These large companies sometimes try to put some stabilizers in the ingredients and you don't even know it, so you try it like, wait, what's going on here? You look at the product and they got a whole bunch of these fillers and these guar gum and all this other type of stuff. So now you know you got to discontinue from buying it and you got to bring that back to life, up to par, and now you're back on track. No, you can't buy that again. You have to pay attention to the ingredients. This is one out of the million challenges that Cheesecake Chinos goes through, or anybody else that practice a top quality product. So today I'm coming out with a flavor, no secret no more. I'm gonna tell you, it's a surprise, but not anymore. It's called a hazelnut. It's a hazelnut cheesecake, Nutella. Now I was gonna call it the Nutella friend, but that doesn't sound right. So I'm gonna call it the Nutella friend. All right, so check it out. Now as you see here, I like to put the cheesecake that I'm about to decorate in a plastic container. It minimizes the mess that I'm about to make. And I kind of jumped the gun. I didn't record yet. I feel like it was a good idea to go what I go through. So these little specks you see on the cheesecake and the minis, these are Ferraros, which is a hazelnut and Nutella chocolates with some wafer in it. But as I put it on this cheesecake, of course, I tried and I have my little taste. I didn't put my mouth on that, by the way. I use that spoon to put in another spoon around here so I don't double dip, because you don't want to eat around your product. So, but I tried a little bit of it. The cheesecake itself is amazing, but I didn't see no like fabulous effects of this Ferrero Rocher, because it tastes like my Nutella chocolate sauce that I make that I put in my peanut butter chocolate cheesecake, and the crunch I could get some hazelnuts, which I got hazelnut. So if I put that plus the body of this already tastes like a giant Nutella piece of goodness, right? So I could find a way how to economize my spends, because this right here costs like $5 for this little packet. All right, so I got my little caramel infused whipped cream. Well, I'm about to infuse it with caramel a little bit. But of course, whipped cream always gets powdered sugar, vanilla, and heavy cream. Basic recipe. I like to move the whipped cream around a little bit because sometimes not all of it gets beat properly, and if it doesn't, it stays liquidy, it affects the rest of it. So when you put it in the fridge for later use, it's all gonna turn to liquid. And of course, it still tastes good. Now I finished beating it and it should be nice at its peak. Let's do this. Yeah. Look. Stays on the whisk, nice, and the flavor is oh yeah. So now I got the caramel whipped cream. I put a little bit on top of this Nutella cheesecake. Now I want to take a bite. Cheers. It was good, but I feel like I needed more whipped cream. I feel like that caramel flavor that I'm going for wasn't as strong. So now I'm gonna taste the ratio for a little bit of cheesecake and more whipped cream. Let's try this again. Woo! That is what I'm talking about. See, the first time I tried it, that caramel whipped cream is delicious, but it wasn't strong enough for me. But now I feel like if I put more, I have to address the cheesecake with more caramel whipped cream, because the little amount that I did wasn't enough. So when I had the little bite, you seen the ratio of the spoon. Of course, when somebody has a slice, they're gonna have more cheesecake than whipped cream. But that tells me how much whipped cream I have to dress it with. Now, if it's a strong whipped cream, I'm not gonna overdress the cheesecake up, because it's just a hint of the whipped cream, because you don't want to overpower the cheesecake with the unintentional flavor. The intentional flavor is Nutella, but you have to put in things that's gonna amplify that flavor. And I think that caramel is a good mix. And I didn't even put my Nutella chocolate sauce. So we're gonna try my Nutella chocolate sauce. We're gonna do this over again. This is what I go through, and I'm happy to take in the journey. This is how serious my flavors come out. It's like a laboratory. It's all chemistry. This is why I'm not impressed with the Ferraro chocolate. No offense to that company. Because this Nutella chocolate sauce that I make pretty much has the same flavor. And this is what I plan to dress the cheesecake with. So, I'm gonna dress this up real quick, just a little bit. Damn, OD. It's all right. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's the right amount. All right, so now we got the Nutella cheesecake, the caramel infused whipped cream, the hazelnut crunch, with real hazelnuts chopped, and we got Nutella chocolate sauce. Let's see how it goes. Wow. Ooh. You know what? I feel like it's missing one more thing. It's great, but my expectations is high at all times. There's no such thing as it being like, it's great. It has to be excellent, the best. There's one more thing I feel like this is missing to make it that. And then I'm gonna patent the flavor as far as like, take pictures of it, decorate it how according to what I just tasted. I feel like I might need a little more, a little caramel, right? More caramel punch to it. And what's more caramel than caramel sauce? So I just warmed up some caramel sauce just in case I had a feeling that was gonna happen. I'm gonna drizzle just a little bit, because I already got caramel infused whipped cream, which whipped cream is like a neutral, delicious, it's a delicious neutralizer. So it adds like another element to the cheesecake that's creamy, but it's not overwhelming, because whipped cream is fluffy. Now when I flavor it, it's fluffy and also it has a little punch. And this one's not overwhelming, it's like a nice hint. But what's gonna set it off is that caramel sauce I put on top. So it's gonna have a light caramel punch, creamy, but it's gonna have that hard caramel punch, but in the form of a sauce where it won't overwhelm anything. It's just gonna amplify everything. These are how all these flavors coincide with each other. So let's try with the caramel sauce. I think this is it. So, to recap on everything, Nutella cheesecake, caramel infused with cream. We put Nutella chocolate sauce. I already put the hazelnut on top too, because I want the texture to have a crunch, a nutty crunch, because Nutella is basically got some hazelnut infusion to it. So, the caramel about to drip over off the spoon. Now we got some caramels. I don't even know if I'm ready for this. Let's go. Whoa, whoa. Woo. Wow, this is it. This is it. This is it right here. I'm gonna call this Tell a Friend, because Tella's my friend, and you also need to tell a friend as well. Now, if you notice, I took all the chocolates out, the Ferraro ones, because it's not really a necessity to have that on a cheesecake. All right, so now as I'm decorating the cake, I'm taking all those factors I just went through and decorating the cake. I want this Nutella cheesecake to have a nice crunch. And if you notice, I cut this hazelnuts with a knife. The difference is with the knife, you have 3 levels of how the hazelnut comes out. You got like finely chopped into dust, which you put that in the food processor, and that's cool. But that's when you want the hazelnut to melt on your mouth. Then you have another one, which is like medium chop. Medium chop, I put the hazelnuts in a bag and I pound it with a hammer. And depending on how much time that I pound it, is gonna come out medium, but it's not gonna be finely chopped like a dust. And then with the knife, you get all three components. You could control it. So you cut the hazelnut in half and you cut it in fours. And the more you chop it, the more fine it is. So the reason why I want to do with a knife in this case is because I want you to taste the crunch, but I also want it to melt in your mouth, but I also want it to be sitting there for a while as well. So I got 3 levels and intensities of how fine this hazelnut is. You see, it's finely chopped, it's lightly chopped, and it's medium chopped all at once, and that's why I use a knife. And this is what I want to put in here, so you taste that little crunch. I like my cheesecakes to look like a portal. They not have the same design, but they have the same theme. Like, and that's what it is. The cheesecake's supposed to take you to another dimension. So we got a Nutella chocolate sauce, we got a caramel fused with cream, we got the hazelnut crunch, and the bottom is the Nutella cheesecake, and then in the crust is the Oreo. So what's the missing element that we have? Well, as we figured out, my little sample on the side, a little touch of caramel sauce. So let's do it. And there is your Nutella cheesecake called Tell a Friend. This is what you call cheesecake, and that is the process of how I come up with my flavors. I can't wait to see what people think about this. And there you have it. The Nutella cheesecake is born, Cheesecake Chinos style, because there's plenty of Nutella cheesecakes out there, but this is my style. I didn't put the Ferrara chocolate on top because this didn't work out, didn't make no sense. Why am I gonna add additional calories and sugar and cost to a flavor that doesn't need it? No offense, the magnificent chocolates just don't belong on my cheesecake. And plus, I'm not a fan of this putting like a big giant chocolate or a donut or a whole slab of a cake on a cheesecake, except for the upside down pineapple, but that's because it goes with it, right? But it depends on what it is. Most of the things I just put on the cheesecake make it look like a whole like Jenga of different flavors. I want you to have the bite of that. Every single flavor needs to be in that bite. That's my style is. I'm a little rebellious too, so I break the rules. I do it my own way. And this is why I want to say it, but I'm dominating the cheesecake game. But it's whatever you do, you gotta do it your own way. You gotta do your own style, because you copy and paste what somebody else does, not gonna be yours. Ain't gonna feel like it's yours. Not gonna be as passionate about it, because how can you be passionate about something that you didn't even create? You didn't do your way. So, like, you know, of course, Google had a bunch of recipes about Nutella cheesecake, but I find my own. All right, I did the measurements, but let's say, for example, it's 500 grams of Nutella, right? For example, or 600 or 700 or 800, right? Maybe I know that I'm about to put some toppings on this that's gonna amplify the taste. So instead of putting 600, maybe I'll put 250. And I have like all these spoons next to the cheesecake and I'll try it. So what I showed you is that after. But during the process of making the cheesecake before I put it in the oven, I got a process as well. But I'm glad you got a little taste of what I go through. And the purpose of this video to show you that each flavor is carefully created. There's no such thing as me looking at a notebook and be like, all right, let's look at the flavors real quick. All right, I have 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of syrup, 1 cup of this, a granola bar. Because I said, why is there granola bar? Why is there all this stuff on there? That doesn't make no sense. So you gotta have the taste buds, you gotta have the experience, and you gotta have the love of food to create stuff like this as well, and take it upon your own judgment. A lot of recipes I see don't make sense, but one thing does. So I get that one thing and I infuse it on my style and add some things to it, and cheesecakes are born right here at the laboratory of Cheesecake Chinos, 168 South Charles Richard Beale Boulevard, DeBarry, 32713, West Volusia. Let's go.